So there's a practice SAT question. We have this graph to work with. Based on the graph, we've got like a line segment here, a line segment here, a third line segment there, and a fourth line segment there. So they don't really provide us with the components that would actually graph this. They only provide us with the graph. This would be called a piecewise function, mainly piecewise linear. Depending on which stretch of x values you look at, you're looking at a certain piece of a line that graphs the overall function for that stretch of x values. It tells us in the problem statement that the complete graph of the function f is shown in the plane above. For what value of x is the value of f of x at its minimum? So the one thing that you have to realize here is that f of x is really equal to y. So you've probably done some problems in the past where you've kind of exchanged f of x for y. If you've ever graphed on a calculator, you maybe have tried to graph like f of x equals x squared. And in your calculator, you hit the y equals menu, and what you graph is you graph y equals x squared. So although this axis right here is labeled with the variable y and f of x are really the same thing. So since it's asking for when f of x is at its minimum, what it's really asking is when y is its lowest value, right? Minimum would be the low value. So it should be pretty obvious by looking at the graph that the lowest y value that we see is right there. Now here's the other thing you have to pay attention to. Look at these options. If you look at that point that I just highlighted, you might say, all right, well that function value there is -2. That's an option. Easy to choose that option. But read the wording more carefully. For what value of x is the y value at a minimum? We've highlighted the point where the y value is the lowest, but the x value where that happens is actually at -3. So there's a little bit of a fork in the road and an easy mistake that you can make within this one. Hopefully the discussion of it that we've just had makes sense and allows you to avoid mistakes like this in the future.